Okay, today is Friday. It is 8:28 p.m. It is January 16th. I finished another week of trading on my challenge, and I'm looking forward to getting funded and getting a payout. And once I do that, then the world will be completely different. Uh, And so I've been thinking about this, and these thoughts start to percolate. It's like there's this movie. There's this movie. There's a lot of movies. A lot of movies are that way. There's in Spider-Man. There's a villain who is a sand man. And so, despite the fact that however the Sandman is disrupted and scattered, it comes back and forms. And then in Terminator, the T-1000 or something like that, or whatever the next generation of Terminator is, it's made up of alloy, liquid alloy, so that this Terminator can scatter and then come back together and form and things like that, right? And in other movies, they do that. Anytime something scatters, comes back and forms itself, right? Um, so like that cartoon about this the gentle giant, right? So this gentle giant is a robot that fell to earth and scattered everywhere, and then all of a sudden these little components come together to piece it back together. So as my exposure to the trading world expands, I seek out and grab things. My mind does. Okay, my mind does that, but it doesn't understand fully the the how it fits together. But my mind goes out and grabs things, and then it might be useful, it might not be useful, but it grabs it wherever the information is. And so the binding agent is the experience. Okay, the binding agent. It's the electrons of the atom. Okay, the atom has protons and neutrons orbited by an electron. And so the experience is essentially the um, the covalent bond of these atoms that comes together. So there's uh, three molecules that come together to make water, right? H2O, unless it's a heavy water, right? So uh, normally water, unless it's heavy water, is made up of three molecules: two hydrogen and one oxygen to make water, right? It's amazing, isn't it? Something that I cannot see, but it comes together and I can see it. It forms into water. And so my thoughts expand out, and then the experience is the electrons, the glue that binds all these experiences and concepts that I have uh, gathered together into my mind. And then the mind puts it together to form into an understanding, a new thought, a new thought, an elevator ride up in seeing how the world works of day trading, right? So I have been thinking about this for quite a while, and things are coming together, and then now it's allowing me to understand a little more about what trading is, right? And so as it's called sophistication. It is it is a pay grade. Okay, it's a pay grade a little bit higher, right? And so I thought about this today, and so I reach out to the chess world. Chess world, they have they have this. So I've been playing chess, but I haven't grown much. Okay, because I wasn't able to focus on it because I was just merely repeating things that I knew instead of like acquiring new things to bring into my portfolio. And so what happened? So what they talk about is what you weren't aggressive enough. Okay, so a grandmaster, what's his name? Uh, whatever his name is. He says okay, and he beat the other grandmaster or some other or someone else. Maybe not the grandmaster, right? Nakamoto, right? His name is Nakamoto. He's a chess grandmaster. He ranks somewhere between the top five, right, in the world. And he says after the game, after he beat the this challenger who may or may not have been a grandmaster, and Nakamoto uh, informed him that you weren't aggressive enough. Okay, you could have put me in a bind in certain areas, but you weren't aggressive enough because he was seeing it. He's seeing how it works, and so I've taken the experience of the chess world and brought it into my trading world to see if I can decipher things to understand how that works, right? And so when there is when there is a statistical probability, when there is a statistical probability that is defining certain processes with certain statistical probability outcome of that of the results, essentially is uh, it is a matter of the self to define how the approach is made in order to tackle that particular situation that arises, uh, just like trading, each moment by each candle, right? I thought about something. I thought about this too because as I started to trade and things like that, and so I see certain opportunities where, like today, I was in a trade with UJ, and I was in, and then it has to move in my direction, and I had substantial size, but I was not aggressive enough. I was not. I didn't think it through enough for me to say the drawdown of that size needs to be uh, needs to be um, needs to be considered in order to achieve a greater outcome. And sure enough, I put some size in there, but it moved against me, and I thought it was going to go move further, so I just exited. And then immediately, after it did that, it just shot up, and it could have been a totally different uh, trading today, right? And so there was some sort of aggression. I had a little bit of aggression. I had a taste of aggression, but I didn't have enough aggression to understand and the forethought in order to adjust myself to be prepared with the market. I was not a dynamic enough to adjust to the conditions of the market in order for me to take advantage, even though I was right. And so what I can do is when there is a statistical probability that's involved, it's not a ones and zeros. It's not binary. Okay, there is that factor of quantum physics involved, right? Where there is that some place within inside in between those areas, the quantum physics of trading slides in and out. Okay, and I thought to myself, and then I thought to myself, these Formula One race car drivers. First of all, they have to be incredibly practiced, and they have to be incredibly physically capable of doing what they're doing, and then they have to have that exposure. They have to know the vehicle, and the vehicle has to perform at a level where it allows them to be at the top of their game. And so I thought to myself, now there, if somebody was driving, uh, if somebody was driving like a 70-year-old grandma, right, uh, in her Cadillac on a road, that's conservation in trading language, right? That's conservation. That's conservation in trading language. Or they could be a maniac who really know what they're doing, and so they could just whiz by like a young 18-year-old who, or maybe a 19-year-old who has 1 year of driving experience and driving around in a souped-up car or something like that, that's whizzing by between traffic, right? So there are two types on a regular roadway, as well as the Formula One driver. And the Formula One driver is intimately aware of the conditions of the track, the race conditions, in a prolonged period of time to understand whether whether the person is too tired, whether what kind of nutrition they need, and the amount of practice that they need, and the vehicle that they drive, the weight that they have, the amount of fuel that's there, and when to pull in, how the traffic is, what things will happen if they stay behind a certain car, and when they're passing in a certain situation, they have to know what's going on. So they have to be very, very, very aggressive. They have to be at the top of the game. They have to show aggression. They have to show the ultimate aggression in trading. I mean, in racing. Okay? They have to show the ultimate aggression in racing. It's the same thing with Nakamura, right? That's his name is Nakamura. Okay? You have to show the ultimate aggression. That's why you have Magnus Carlsen after he was defeated. Uh, After he was defeated, he says, but he was making outlandish moves. But that was his strategy. And he pounded the table. He's showing aggression. Okay, because he fell for it. He did not expect that in that, and so he was at every moment. He is showing aggression in his chess game, as well as the Formula One. You have to be there. You have to be at the top. You have to be the NBA player. You have to be the NFL. You have to be the. You have to be the. Uh, you have to be the national baseball player. Okay, you have to be. Okay. You have to be. You have to be. That's the aggression. Aggression. Okay. There's a conservation and aggression. Okay. There's a conservation in preparation of aggression. Okay. And in trading, I have to throttle in between there in order to conserve. I have to conserve my psychology. I have to conserve my physicality. Okay, I have to conserve myself. Okay, in order to prepare myself to be aggressive in the market, because I want to be aggressive. Okay, I want to be aggressive even when the market is slow, like the Asian market. I want to be aggressive, meaning that I'm prepared to do the job at the top of my game. At the top of my game. That is aggression. Conservation is saying, okay, I'm a little bit worried, as this guy was on Chat with Traders, and he's talking about these new traders who really don't know how to do certain things. It's like those people who are placed in a car that they have never driven before. There's like moving it, and they're trying to figure out how the stick shift works, and how the gas pedal and stop, and especially if it's clutch. I mean, it's like they're trying to figure it out. It's like a 2-year-old trying to explore the world. They're timid in most cases. Okay, otherwise they don't have survival instincts. Okay, so it's conservation. It is a matter of conservation to prepare myself to the level of being incredibly aggressive in the market. Okay, even when the market is slow, I have to be aggressive in representing myself as a sophisticated trader, right? So so Al Brooks, I haven't learned. I mean, he's the materials that he's teaching. I don't understand it. Okay, he's at a level that's like way up there, way up there. So I still don't understand it. But he made this statement. He says that he made this he said something about he says something, okay, and I'm talking about aggression, okay, and being at the top of the game, right? And so he says something about the market. You have to show respect for the market because you're dealing with a market that is highly sophisticated and endured the test of time, okay. And he says you have to show respect for the market because there are so many things in the market that you don't know. If you respect the market, then you're going to learn about the market and the sophistications that are involved in the market, right? And so you have to treat the market as a um, very wise elderly person. You have to treat the market like a very wise elderly person. I didn't understand what it meant. Then I realized then I realized that I realized that trading, uh, conservation, is a fact of the result of not understanding and slight a bit of respect for the market because you don't understand it because you're afraid. So this chat with trader guy was talking about this new trader, and because the new trader doesn't want to lose because the new trader doesn't understand the market, and so trading is done with the market. And so he's mentioning that these new traders can't even click the mouse because they're so afraid of losing. But you can't do that. Trading cannot do that. It's a statistical probability of this. Hindsight is 2020. Hindsight, okay, hindsight. When the candles have been painted, I can say it did this with 100% certainty. It did it. Whether it's AI generated, but based on this description, the chart has chronologically cataloged. It is 100% is what it is. Okay. So he says some people can't click the mouse because they're too afraid, right? Because they're practicing conservation because they don't understand it. And so what I realized today is that uh, I can be conservative in order for me to buy time to learn. Then there will be time. It's like fly bird fly, or it's like when I suppose it's like there's a lot of movies that they talk about this finally when finally uh, when finally it's like a horse or a greyhound that has been gated, and then all that preparation, all that energy, all that thing, and uh, uh, all these and I heard about these shepherd dogs. These apparently they're these are breed of dogs that are like highly energized, and so in order for them to, what do they call it? So apparently, what they do is the a shepherd runs the dogs a little bit in before training occurs because they have so much pent up energy, and so these horses are behind this gate, and these horses are behind the gate. Okay, these horses are behind the gate and ready. I mean, they're huffing and puffing, and they're ready, man. They're ready to like get the race going, because they are at the top of their game. They are at the they are at the utmost aggressive, aggressive. Okay, so essentially, um, it's called a border collie. Okay, border collies. Apparently, they have so much energy, and then in order for them to do something, they have to they have to like work them over a little bit. And so you have these horses and greyhounds ready, gated, and then and then when it's time for the race, I have to be at the top of my game. I have to be as aggressive as possible. I have to be as just like living life, I suppose, right? So some people want to just be conservative. Elderly people know that because they know their own limitations in life. And so this elderly woman who's driving, uh, because now they're old, they're like scrunched, their height has reduced, and then they're looking over the Cadillac dash, and then trying to drive, right? So they're very cautious because so many things could happen, and they know that their limited mobility and the response time uh, uh, makes them makes them drive as carefully as possible, right? That's conservation. In trading, I've noticed that sure I can do that, but the gains that I get are quite small. Okay, the gains that I get are quite small. So I see these people on YouTube who make like 50 or $100,000 a day, right? They make 50K, 100K, 200K, $1 million in their trades, and I thought to myself, oh, that doesn't happen too often, even if you're the best. Okay, even if you're the best, that doesn't happen too often. That means that you have to even if you make like even if you have 100K, you have a $500,000 gain, you cannot hold it because what it will do is it'll reset. The drawdown will reset. The drawdown will reset, which means that even if I made 500K on a 100K account, that means that if it retraces by 5% in one day, then that challenge is over. Okay, even if I made 500K and I'm doing a swing trade and then it's going, but there is that rule that says that a day cannot exceed 5% of the trade. So that limits the amount of risk that I can take, right? So I realized that I can trade. I can go on one side of it, which will limit me in the amount of gains that I get and the amount of losses that I can get, and practice conservation. Right? I can practice conservation as the focal point of my trading. That will limit the amount of gains that I have, and then the losses that I have. On the other hand, there is that part of me at a point where there is that aggression that I need to inject into the market, so that I could perform at the top of my game, at the peak of my game, at the at the just opening the throttle, right? Open the throttle, right? I think that's what they call it. They open the throttle. It's called opening the throttle, right? Initially, conservation, learning, and things like that, and opening the throttle will catapult me into an aggressive stance in trading. And when I'm at the aggressive stance in trading, I am exercising my skill set and my experience to the market in order for me to maximize my time and effort in trading, right? So so essentially it's somewhere between conservation and aggression. Okay, it's a so I'm reminded of these TV this TV show is called the Twilight Zone, right? It's called the Twilight Zone, and each has a very very interesting thing. I just mentioned that Twilight Zone. Yeah. So essentially, now I need to be cognizant of the fact that is that the training wheels are off now. The training wheels are off. When I'm learning how to ride a bicycle at the early age, the training wheels are there. Okay, the training wheels are there. But now I need to be aggressive. The training wheels are off. Training wheels are off. Okay? It's time to live life. It's time to open the throttle. It's time to it's time to it's time to just blast off, right? It's time. It's time to it's time to it's time to just make it happen. just to, it's time. It's time to, it's time to practice conservation and at the same time open the throttle and enter into the realm of aggression, the twilight zone, the aggression. I don't want to be in a nursing home sitting there, okay? I don't want to be sitting in a nursing home, and I have this image because um, I visited one of those places as I was taking care of my father, and I was driving in, and this lady with white hair, and the room is huge. It's like, I mean, she must be paying a lot of money for that room, and her family, and she's sitting there in this giant bed, and her hair is all white, okay? Her hair is all white, and she's looking outside. The window drapes are open, and the room is huge, and she's there right in the middle, and she's sitting there. Her hair is all white, okay, and she's all wrinkly, and her clothes are white, and the beddings are all white, and there's dressed. So that's what I see, and then she's just looking outside, gazing outside. Okay, she's gazing outside. She's gazing outside. Okay, I know. See, I recorded that, but I haven't incorporated it into my experience as a trader, okay? And a student of life, a person who is participating in life, right? I am participating in life, right? And so she's looking outside. She's looking outside, and her hair is all white, and she must be probably at least 75 years old. Probably about 75 years old. She looks healthy, but she's in there because nobody's able to take care of her, and she can't take care of herself. Okay? She's in there because she's unable to take care of herself, right? And she's sitting there in a big room looking outside. It's a big window too. Big window. Okay? And she's looking outside, and I see her. Okay? Have I made my point? And she's probably contemplating. She's rerunning the memories that she has. She's playing this movie of herself. She's playing the movie of herself. She's running her life over and over again. Okay? She's reliving her life through her memories as she's sitting there in this giant bed with white hair. Okay? 75 to 80 years old, I think. And she's looking outside. She's looking outside, and from the moment that I park to when I saw her, as soon as I drove in to the parking lot and I saw her, and then I parked, I came back to the entrance, I see her, she's in the same position. She is running around in her mind, okay, the days of her past, okay? And the one thing probably she probably wants to make very, very clear is this. Open the throttle. Open the throttle while practicing conservation. Aggression with conservation. Aggression with conservation. This Formula One racer is practicing aggression with conservation. Living life is aggression with conservation. Live life. Have you heard of this terminology? Live life to the fullest. Huh? Have you heard of that? Live life to the fullest. Because when I'm sitting there on this giant bed, my hair, when it grows out, it's going to be all white. Right now, I can't afford it because I'm homeless. Okay? And I'm devoting my time. I could make more money, but I'm devoted, so I can't get like public assistance because I'm able-bodied, despite the fact that one of my eyes is blind. I'm able-bodied, okay? But I cannot get public assistance for two reasons. I don't want to. Okay? I'm not financially qualified because I have a part-time job, okay? So that I can put as much resources into trading as possible. Okay, it's like when I'm young, I do whatever I want because time is not precious to me when I'm young. But when I'm old, time is so precious. It is it is incredibly precious. Time is so precious. Memories are precious. Time is precious. Quality of quality of time is so precious. Okay? So I could slide along in a conservation kind of a manner, live life in a calm and undulating manner, okay? And I could finish out the race, okay? Or I could be that one person who finishes the race in first place, okay? Whether my body breaks down, allowing my preparation to allow me to conserve myself, to carry myself to the finish line. But when that race starts, I'm at the top of my game. I'm going out. I'm throttling out. I'm thinking about things. I'm monitoring how much fuel is in my car. Okay? What the road conditions are. I'm at the top of my game. That's what these people are doing. When they're set before the 100-meter dash, what are they thinking? What is happening in their thinking? They only think about that one instant. The most important instance right there. And the collection of the aggregate thoughts and the numerous races are to be had and rethought sitting in that nursing home with wide windows, drapes open, with white hair, looking outside for hours and hours, reliving, trapped in an old body, okay? And when I get there, I want to be practicing. Before I get there, I want to be practicing aggression with conservation. That's trading. I just realized that today because I traded a couple different styles. Sure, I could wait for it. Sure, I could wait for certain things, but I need to get out there. I want to. So apparently, there's another concept that is very detrimental to trading is hope. Okay, but it is a life-saving measure for the human species. Hope allows human species to propel and exist and generate generations. Okay, hope allows mankind to continue on. If I don't have any hope, I'll say to myself, hey, there's no food. I'll just sit here and be gone. Or if I have hope, even if there isn't any, I'll look for it. Chances are, if there's 1 in a billion chance, just like Doctor Strange was pointing his finger to Iron Man, right? He just holds up this one finger. Okay, that one finger is the symbol of aggression with, okay, aggression with conservation. Okay, that finger, the name of that finger is called. See, frankly speaking, I work at a restaurant, and the meat I saw the see the meat is different. Okay, the meat is different. Anywhere else, the way that you make fingers is quite different, and the type of meat that's used. Okay, this particular restaurant uses a very, very expensive like tenderloin, and so when the beef prices were expensive, we had to use these lesser priced beef, and I had to tenderize it. I can see why I had to tenderize it, because it's not as tender, okay? Because it's like stringy and things like that, right? But the quality of that finger, the quality of the finger is number one, okay? That's what they're feeding the customers. That's why it's so good. That finger is really, really good. It's that finger. That one finger, okay, that one finger, out of all the possibilities, infinite possibilities, out of all the infinite possibilities, okay, just think about it. Searching infinite possibilities, it can't be done. And a person who says there's one possibility of infinity, you can't. There's no. You can't do that. You, if it's infinite, you can't find it because there could be another one. Okay, because it's infinite, right? But Doctor Strange points his finger, right? He says, he looks at Iron Man. He goes, right there, right there. That's it. Right there, right there. Okay, it says he takes this finger just like that. Okay, just like that. Just like that. Just like that. So they used to have like 3D movies. Just like that. You see that right there? Just like that. Just like that. So essentially, see, I finally get it. I was like, see, it's like, see, when I was 6 years old, I ran into a bridge and I was knocked out. And for the past 56 years, I was just walking around like a zombie, going, "Hey, why are people doing that? Why are people doing this? Why are people doing that?" Things like. But it's just, I was like going, "Huh?" You know this a label, a picture of this little beagle who's like listening to the what is it called? It's a, I think it's a phonograph or something, and the dog is trying to figure out what's going on. It has no concept of what's going on, and I was living life like that. Then I realized the meaning of life, the act of life. Okay, I found out. Okay, the meaning of life. The meaning of life. Okay, is to exist. Okay, the meaning of life is to exist, simply to exist, and the act of life is practicing aggression with conservation. Okay? The act of life is the act of life is practicing aggression with conservation. Because when I'm sitting there with all the white hair, I'm looking out in the window. I personally don't want to like burden my kids. Okay, I don't want to burden my kids, so I want to, as soon as once I get to a point where I'm financially stable, I want to plan everything out. Okay, so when I'm looking outside, right, and I'm looking at myself through the dresser mirror, and I'm looking at myself and I'm going, yeah, in trading, and in life, and in chess, and in Olympic sports, in professional, in all manner of profession, right? So apparently, Shaq and one of the when he was playing with Kobe Bryant, okay, in Lakers, and Kobe was on an interview and says Shaq could have been the greatest only if he applied, right? And Shaq gets apparently very upset, right? Because he could have been that number one, the dominant, okay, the dominant. Why? Because Kobe knew. I heard like he practiced like 10 times more than the hardest working person because he knew it is the act of life and living in any discipline is to practice aggression with conservation.